Technologies. So quite thankful to Arun and others for inviting me here for this particular session. So if we look at 2023, right, that is when Gen AI got prominence. There was a lot of buzz around Gen AI. News portals were talking a lot. Every technology company was talking about Gen AI. But when we look at Gen AI, we see 2023 as the year of the proof of concepts. And the reason was because everybody was unsure of, nobody was sure that how they are going to adopt Gen AI. Everybody was looking at experimentation, new concepts like large language models, foundation models, RAG, and all these kind of work still, in the works, and everybody was experimenting. And one of the metric that we see almost with every customer is the number of proof of concepts they did to evaluate generative AI. But when it comes to 2024, which is the current year, generative AI technologies have stabilized. Customers have realized that Gen AI has a lot of potential. They can increase their revenue, they can introduce efficiency and all. And now everybody is talking about going into production, right? So so if you look at the questions that were there in 2023, the questions were mostly around what is Gen AI, what is foundation model and all. Now the questions are coming like how can I lower my cost, for example, how do I prioritize my products, should I train my model, and so on. So from what, it has now become how, which means more and more customers are bringing Gen AI into production systems. So that is how the landscape or the situation is changing on the ground. Now, when we look at generative AI, I'm sure all of you, since all of you are coming from a technical technology background, you know what exactly is Gen AI. But when we look at what are the areas where Gen AI has great potential to create business value, we look at new experiences. Basically, Gen AI can create, you can use Gen AI to create new engaging interactions with your customers and employees as well. You can improve productivity, which is basically how your developers can do, write programs much faster with greater accuracy and lesser number of bugs. You can automatically generate insights out of your data. What it means is insights or analysis which most of the business analysts might miss. Gen AI can pick that up from your data itself. And then, of course, generative AI, the word itself has generative, right? Which means it is creating new content, which could be text, which could be conversations, images, videos, and music. But there are analyst reports, like, for example, Gartner or the analysts have predicted that Gen AI has a potential to add trillions of dollars in the world economy, which means through new experiences, through creativity, through increasing productivity, we have a potential to add a lot of value to business. So what are some of the use cases? So we can look at chatbots, virtual assistants. Uh, you can look at summarizing documents, content generation, code generation, creating insights out of your data, or even things like fraud detection, process optimization, and on. This is the depth and breadth of use cases that Gen AI can handle, and across industries. And when we look at Amazon.com itself, which is our parent organization, uh, if you go to Amazon.com, you now will see a summarized version of the customer reviews, right? Which is I find it quite good, because I can, at one single place, I can look at what are the most relevant reviews, what customers are talking about this particular product, and I don't have to spend my time going through all the reviews as well. Then there is Rufus, which is an expert shopping assistant. We have Alexa as well, where there are billions of interactions happening every week. And then Amazon Pharmacy, through generative AI, we can create faster prescriptions and better support for our customers. Now, when we look at generative AI, if you think of an iceberg, Gen AI is the tip of the iceberg, okay, which is visible, which you can easily see. But below the surface is the whole is a much bigger piece, which is the data foundation. Okay, so it could comprise of storage, it could comprise of databases, analytics, data lakes. You of course need data integration to connect all these data sources. And then there is the issue of data governance and data compliance as well. So Gen AI applications are built on top of a very strong data foundation. Okay, and sometimes the data that powers the Gen AI application could run into petabytes of data warehouses or data lakes as well. So Gen AI in essence works with data. Okay, so and the way we look at how can we integrate data into the open foundation models that are available. There are multiple techniques, like for example, you could do retrieval augmented generation, which is basically your content extraction or specialized knowledge through prompt augmentation. You can fine tune your models using an approach called as fine tuning, parameter efficient fine tuning, or you can also do something called as continued pre-training, where the foundation model is changed for your specific business needs. So when we come to AWS, we have the complete depth and breadth of stack for generative AI. Starting from the bottom part, we have infrastructure which is available for foundation model training and inference. We have GPU based infrastructure. We have Trainium, we have Inferentia. SageMaker is our machine learning AI ML platform, and the whole lot of Nitro and Neuron kind of infrastructure. On top of this infrastructure is heavily integrated service called Bedrock. Okay, Bedrock is now available in India as well. Bedrock provides the capability to use large language models within your applications. Okay, and on top of Bedrock are specific applications that are built. So one of the applications is Amazon Q for Business, which is a business specific chatbot or a virtual assistant. There is Amazon Q Developer. If you know, if you're aware, earlier we had something called as Code Whisperer. Now Code Whisperer is integrated into Amazon Q Developer. We have our BI tool called QuickSight. Within QuickSight, Q is also embedded. So using natural language query, you can write SQL. You don't need to write any more SQLs. You can simply say, give me the sales for last 10 quarters in a line chart and give me forecast on top of it. It will automatically do the job for you. And then there is Amazon Connect, where Q is also embedded. So if we look at the entire stack, right from infrastructure to the service for Gen AI and to the applications, AWS has been investing a lot in the Gen AI stack. And I'm quite happy to say that we have one of the most capable Gen AI stack. Okay, with applications, with infrastructure, with Gen AI services, and a lot of foundation models that are available on the AWS stack. So earlier I talked about SageMaker. SageMaker is our AI ML platform. Using that, you can build and train and deploy machine learning models using foundation models. You can build foundation models from scratch, customize foundation models, run inference, and even do ML ops or foundation model ops and governance. Bedrock, as I talked about, it is a very easy way to build Gen AI applications using foundation model. So Bedrock provides a single API and you can choose which foundation model you want to use. So if you look at foundation models, you may have heard of Llama, you may have heard of Claude. So these are all foundation models that are available on AWS and you can access them through a single API. You can even do model customization as well. RAG, retrieval augmented generation, that is also available. And then we have agents that can execute multi-step tasks. Those are also available as part of Bedrock. And of course, security, privacy, safety, that has been one of the integral features of AWS across all different services. And Bedrock is not an exception. We provide the best in class security, data privacy, and safety for Bedrock as well. There is another service called Guardrails for Bedrock. So suppose you want responsible AI. For example, you want the response that comes from your Gen AI application should be sensitive. It should not have toxic content. It should block sensitive, personally identifiable information and all. So all of these can be enabled within Guardrails for Bedrock. And then again, Q. Q is very recent innovation that is added to our Gen AI stack. So there are two variants of Q, Q for business and Q for developers. Q for business is more like a virtual assistant, which you can integrate in your applications. Okay, and you can ask questions in natural language, in English or whatever language you want to ask, and it will be able to give you answers based on your data. Okay, so if you have an employee support portal on an HR application, you can embed Q over there, and employees can reach out to Q to ask questions which are generic and based on data. For example, how many leaves can I avail during a year and so on. So those kind of policy specific questions Q business can answer. And then Q as a developer, which we will see today in the hands-on, is more of developing applications. So how can we improve productivity of our developers? That is what Q developer focuses on. And again, it is embedded in Q, in Connect, in QuickSight, and in supply chain applications in AWS. And as I mentioned, for different types of users, for example, business users, you can do knowledge search, you can do document summarization, you can do content creation, and so on. For developers, you can do code generation, you can do unit testing, you can do security scanning, you can do code remediation, and so on. So for business users, for developers, for specialized users, Q can work with all of them. There are multiple use cases that are available across the use case, the users that are available in any organization. Okay. So with that, I will end my presentation. I hope I'm quite excited about generative AI and the potential it brings. I am sure you also would be excited, to work on generative AI. And thank you so much, Arun and Shivpriya, for giving me this opportunity. I'll hand over back to you, Arun, for the next part of the session.
Yep. Thank you, Amit, for the quick insight on AWS Gen AI offering. I'm sure this probably you could go hours and hours talking about what exactly AWS is doing in this part of the offerings. Yeah, I think overall summed up how Gen AI offerings are available in our AWS and how it is already leveraged within the Amazon parent organization. So with AWS as a leading cloud provider in the market and the services, AI services which AWS offers, in fact, are best in the best to gain any kind of skill in this field. So let's start the ball rolling. Let's get you a bit of hands-on. So I just wanted to give you a quick background on what exactly is the skill bundle. So before getting onto the skill bundle, I want everybody to probably start accessing the lab, logging into the lab. So I'll quickly take you through how to access the lab. So I'm just posting you a URL in the chat room. Please access that URL. And those who have enrolled, so the URL is hands-on.nuvepro.io, and the entire URL is posted there. Please open that, and please use the username as your email address, the registered email address which you had got when you had enrolled for the session. Yeah, Shivpriya has already posted the password. Request, probably I'll just take a pause here to make sure everybody are able to access. And I'll also share my screen to show if at all you're able to get the screen the way I'm getting the screen.
Yes, and I also mentioned that the support team is active. In case if you're not able to log in, you can just raise your hand and put it up in the chat query. The link is mentioned and put up by Arun Reddy. As a username, you have to use the same email ID with which you registered for the event. I think many of you have used different email IDs and work email IDs. I think that would be required. And then there's password, which you can kind of put up. Make sure that you have the access before moving ahead.
I'm sharing my screen to make sure that everybody has got access to this. If anybody is not able to get access to it, probably you might have not registered with your email address. So probably just so those who had come onto this call without prior registration, probably you might not get access. So please be on the sidelines. You are free to watch what's going on. But I think there are 100 plus people who had enrolled and all have been given access. So please log in. And please feel free to post a message on the chat room if you have any challenges. We have multiple people from our support team who can help you guide through. So you should be able to get an access to the skill bundle like this. I'll tell you what exactly the skill bundle in a couple of minutes. Just post a yes on the chat room if you are able to access and log into this part of the skill bundle or this part of the course in the learning management system which we are providing.
Um, if anybody is not getting the access, can also let us know quickly, and we'll kind of make it avail to you. Everyone who has forwarded the meeting to other people and the other team members, and have not probably enrolled and got enrolled at the last minute, can drop in their email ID so we can enroll them and share the password.
Yeah, just post it on the chat room as yes or thumbs up if you are able to access. Probably, if at all, we could get majority of them getting access to this. Probably we can continue.
Okay, I think we got one email ID. I'll request the support team to kind of pick up and enroll it.
Sure, sure.
So, Shivpriya, are we getting positive responses from people? They're able to log in.
Yes, I think one of somebody is not able to log in, but I think we have the email. Two emails have come up. I request the support team to take those up.
Yeah, a few people I've seen them posting as yes, they're able to log in. There are a few more people who are right now posting their email addresses. We will quickly have them either added or check why they're not able to access. Probably we'll spend 2 more minutes doing that, and before we get started on the skill bundle. All right, let's get started. Quick background on what exactly is a skill bundle. Skill bundle is a term which Nuvepro uses for any kind of a skilling intervention, which includes hands-on labs also. So, in a very quick overview of what exactly the skill bundle is an end-to-end package for gaining skills It would have a sandbox for hands-on practice. It would have projects with various scenarios and case studies, which will help you learn from real life examples. It will also have subjective assessments, which can help you assess if the learner has acquired a particular skill. Basically, there are run-of-the-mill assessments out there in the market, which will typically give you some kind of MCQs. Whereas with Nuvepro, we have assessments which are subjective assessments, which means that we'll be giving you an access to the lab, which will have a scenario or a case study which is already available on the lab environment. And the learner are supposed to go showcase their skill to get auto evaluation done. And to gain practice on that for that assessment, you will obviously use our sandboxes, which will have a similar scenario case studies to gain practice and eventually show your skill. This example, this is a skill bundle. So without further delay, what I'll do is I'll quickly pass it on to Manasa. Manasa will help you take you through the skill bundle, especially on GenAI. Before that, I think since we are using AWS as a technology for GenAI, I just wanted to do a quick poll on if at all you have already heard of certain technologies or already got some hands-on experience on few GenAI technologies. Probably here's the poll which we have. So if you have used or what is the topmost tool which you have used on GenAI, please quickly take a poll. The poll is there in your chat room. If you can take a poll, we'll get a better idea. I'm seeing people are choosing either Amazon Q, GitHub Copilot, Replit, Codium, Tab9, or any other.
Let's, Arun, what I would also suggest is let's take 5 minutes more to kind of make sure that everybody has got the access. I think someone has also requested you to share the screen, Arun. So yes, we'll be sharing the screen, and Manasa, our GenAI specialist, will also be sharing the screen while she's taking you through the skill bundle. We'll move on to Manasa in the next couple of minutes. Meanwhile, let's take a quick poll regarding the AWS tools, and if we've used any of them. This will help us in moving ahead. I am just pinning the poll in the chat for everyone. Yes, we've got
Yeah, I think we have got about 45 responses out of 84. Probably let's wait for 50 odd responses so that we could get a insight from how is the mood, especially when it comes to various tools, and then we can proceed further.
Yes, sure. We'll take this and we'll add that in the poll. We'll just edit the poll quickly.
Yeah, looks like few people are not able to log in. We are helping them to get this access. So we'll take 2 more minutes or to make sure that everybody are on the same page, because it's a hands-on. I don't want anybody to miss out on getting hands-on experience working on these skill bundles. And I'm sure Manasa, once she starts working on, please spend some time, get work along with Manasa. So it's a very interesting topic she'll be talking about, and with AWS working on likes of Code Whisperer or Amazon Q. I think there are some fantastic things which you could do. Probably, I'm just checking who else would require access. If somebody can post, if somebody is still waiting for access, or else we could probably start the session.
Yes, we'll need to wait for a couple of more minutes because we have, yes, I think Shubham, you've received the access now. Password is being shared by the support team. Meanwhile, will I request the support team to check through another? I think the email ID is posted from Tech Mahindra. Sure, just give us 2 minutes. We'll take through this, and support team will clarify once this is done. The access is done. Any other request? I just request that before we move on to, and it would get slightly difficult for us to check through the access. I'd request if you do not have the access, just check if you are able to log in and have the access, and just let us know if you're not able to.
Meanwhile, the poll is still on, especially on what are the GenAI tools we have already used. Please complete the poll. We have 84 plus people in the room, and we have only about 47 responses. So I request you to take just a minute to finish the poll.
Thank you, Harini, for letting us know. We'll just quickly move on to the next two ones. I think support team, we have Madnesh and we have Gautam, I guess. Yes. Uh,
Yeah, request you to still not go directly access the lab as well as other things. We are just right now just letting you log in. We have still not activated all those services, which while Manasa is taking you through the skill bundle, she'll be able to guide you on this. I know, Mujahid, you've already tried accessing AWS. Good, you're exploring, but it give us a couple more minutes. Yeah, so that's what Shukriya. So Mujahid has accessed the lab, so good that he's exploring, but it'll take a couple of minutes. We'll enable them. All right, so I think you already got access. So the poll, we have about 47 responses. Just interesting to see if there are any other tools which people have access or used extensively, possibly not listed in the poll. So please post them on the chat if you have used any other service or any other tool apart from the ones listed in the chat room. It will be interesting for us to know what are the other tools which are there in the market, which could be of our, which is worth exploring. All right, so I'll pass it on to Manasa. So Manasa is our GenAI expert. She'll take you through the skill bundle. Please work with us so that you could gain skill. We would also be able to impart the skill, and together we could learn together. So thank you very much for your patience so far. Over to you, Mansa.
Thank you. Hope I'm audible. Sound clear?
Yes, Mansa, you are.
Okay. Thank you, Amit, for giving such a great insights on generative AI. So, hello everyone. Good morning. My name is Manasayas. I'm Gen AI specialist in Nuvepro. So, I'll be the one to take you through this hands-on session, which is on Amazon Q Developer, which is formerly called as Code Whisperer. So, let me share my screen. A moment, please.
Yeah, Manasa, let's get started. Go ahead.
Okay. Hope my screen is visible here.
Yes, Mansa.
Nice. So, like I said, I'll be the one to take you through this hands-on session, which is on Amazon Q Developer, formerly called as Code Whisperer. So, anywhere if you find me mentioning Code Whisperer is nothing but Amazon Q Developer. If you find anywhere in the skill bundle too, it's nothing but Amazon Q Developer. So let's learn and get to know Amazon Q Developer together. Let's make this workshop a very interesting and interactive session and make a great use of this. So before diving into the skill bundle, I'm trying to make sure that everybody is logged in successfully. Feel free to post your issues in the chat. We would be happy to help you. Okay, me assuming. Okay, somebody raised your hand.
No, it's a thumbs up. So go ahead.
Okay, good. Okay, that's a good start. So let's dive into the skill bundle. This is a skill bundle we'll be talking about. So we as a developers will write a lot of code, debug, optimize, troubleshoot. We'll do a lot more of things as a developer, which could take a lot of time. So how about we having a code companion tool which can assist you by writing code or giving suggestion, which can save a lot of time, which can write a code on our behalf based on our intent. So that's when this Amazon Q developer comes into the picture. So Amazon Q developer is a AI code assistant tool which helps you to give suggestion, which gives suggestion. It can be more than one, which will help you to autocomplete with just one comment on by giving, which acts as a input or a prompt to that model. So the more you use, the better it gets. So let's get to know Amazon Q Developer much more deeper. So like I mentioned, it is a AI assistant tool. It's a machine learning tool. It is the more you use, the better it gets, because when you're how often you use it, try to understand the intent or the context of the file. So the more often you use, it will try to capture the intent of what you're trying to achieve in that file or in that task. So hence the very best part of Code Whisperer or Amazon Q Developer is that it supports different languages too, such as Python, Java, C Sharp, just to name a few. So let's go deeper and understand more. And Amazon Q Developer is can be integrated in different IDEs also, such as PyCharm, IntelliJ, and so on, like VS Code, everything, where you'll manually download the extension. You'll install the extension there, and you'll access and integrate through with AWS Builder ID. Here we're experimenting this Amazon Q developer in Cloud9, which is a cloud IDE in AWS. I'll talk about Cloud9 much more detailedly in very soon. So now remember, we are experimenting this AI code assistant tool in Cloud9, which is cloud IDE in AWS. So there are different types under Amazon Q developer. You can see this like single line command, single line prompt, multi-line prompt, or multi-line command, function name. So these kind of prompts also supported in the Amazon Q developer. So we most of the people have used single line command. So let me show that. Let's go into the single line command. As you can see here under the example function to print each element, which is a simple basic method to print each element in the array and return. So most of us have used, whoever used Amazon Q developer would go for a single line comment here most of the time. So it is also supported to different types of prompts also. We'll be exploring that in a Cloud9 very soon. Now let us try to understand the different prompt types also. So here in the single line command, you can see this function to print each element of the array, and the suggestion by the Amazon Q developer. So let's move forward. We can see single line prompt also. So the very interesting part of a single line prompt is that take a look at this example. Create a function called get user age, ask the user age to input their age, return the user's age. Accordingly to the line, the corresponding suggestion has been given by Amazon Q developer. Create a function called get user age, it is done, and ask the user to input their age, that is done in the next line, then return the user's age. The correspondingly the suggestions can be seen. And moving forward, we have multi-line prompt also. It's more of a like you write it as a comment, like multi-line string. As the name suggests, it's a multi-line. So given a list, let's see this example too. So it's a list. Given a list that contains some numbers and strings, will create a function. I'm asking model to create a function called format list. You can see that here. Format the numbers in the list to a string in which the numbers are prepended with the hash. You can see that here. So whatever you put it in the comments, be sure to be more specific enough so that the tool will suggest the code accordingly. Remember, we have to be very specific in that. So likewise, we have line comment as well, and followed by function name prompt as well. So let's see this function name prompt, which is kind of very interesting here. So here we'll write a function name like get average of numbers. Look at that, the suggestion by Amazon Q developer. It instantly auto completes that. We can see the suggestion given by, which is in other words, it's a auto completion by the Amazon Q developer. We'll explore that. So we can use this Amazon Q developer in different use cases, in different AWS services also, like S3, like creating S3 bucket using Boto 3. Remember to be more specific enough there. And SQS service, which is a simple queue service in Amazon. Likewise, we can use it for different use cases there. So, and also it supports many languages, like I mentioned earlier, Java, Python. You can take a look out of this following languages. So I hope everybody is clear with this different kinds of prompt, everything. Let me see a giving a thumbs up here. Nice, that's a good start. Now let mark as this as done. So let's move forward. Come back to home page. Now this is done. We got to know this Amazon Q developer. Like I mentioned, I said we'll be experimenting the Cloud9. So let us go to the AWS console first. So for that, you can see this hands-on exercise. I repeat, in this skill bundle, you can see this hands-on exercise here. Go to the first one, setup environment in the Cloud9. Click on that. You can see that start guided project here or continue project here. I repeat, I'll go back. Hands-on exercise under that first one. Click on that. You'll be seeing the start guided project button there. Click on that. Okay, now
Okay, Manas, I think some comment has come. The question is difference between comment and prompt.
that's a very good question. So let me show you the difference here. So there's not much difference in the comment and prompt here. So a comment can be in a single line or a multi-line also. In case of prompt, it is more of like a being specific enough there. So try to be more specific there. So there is no much difference in both of them. Very rigid difference or a concrete difference between comment and the prompt here. It's a more of like a similar falling into the same agenda there. Hope I cleared the doubt there. Okay, now let's get back to that. Let's go to the setup environment in the Cloud9. Click on continue project or start guided project. I hope everybody are in this page now. Can you see the start lab button? Click on that. Wait for a while. You'll get another button which is a jump to console later, which is helpful to access the AWS console. I believe everybody has started the lab. Okay, good. Now we can see this jump to console button. I hope everybody has got like that. So let me click on that. I'll get the access link for AWS console. By the way, when you log in, if there is a page where it is asking for a credentials, you can see it under the access tab here. Feel free to use that.
Yeah, I think everybody are trying to access. Um, you should be able to get access to it because everybody have login at the same time. I'm sure that there are about 10 to 15 people who are right now enrolling, and there are about 10 to 15 others who are trying to access the lab. So you all should get access to the AWS console or jump to console part. Um, Mansa, if you want to start from scratch on how do you start the lab, there are a couple of people who could be benefited for that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, I can. So let me go back to the home page. Okay, let's go back to the home page here. You can see this is the home page of the skill bundle. Hope everybody are in this home page now. Scroll down. You can see this hands-on exercise here, which is for lab environment accessing there. In that, you can see this setup environment in Cloud9. Click on that. I'll repeat it again. You can go to the home page. In the hands-on exercise, click on setup environment in Cloud9. You'll be given this page. This page would appear. Click on continue project or guided project.
If somebody is doing for the first time, it will be a start project, or if somebody is doing for the second time, it will say continue project. And then you would arrive at this page.
But if still, if you could not come to this and start the lab, I'll give you another tip. You can go to this get to know Amazon Q developer. Earlier we were there. Click on that. You can see this how to access AWS console from our skill bundle. Click on this. You can see the description or the instruction. How can we access to that AWS console? So the same step I'm following there. So hands-on exercise. Under that, I'll be going into first lab. There I'll click on start lab button. Then I'll get the jump to console button. So let me show that with this instruction. Okay, let me open that in a new bundle, it's new tab itself. Just to keep this instruction. Okay, I'm going to home page now. Let me go to the first hands-on exercise here. Continue project or start guided project. I hope everybody has achieved or come to this page so far now. Can you give a thumbs up for that? Nice, nice. So now let's click on Start Lab. Let us wait for a while. Has everybody has got this jump to console button? How about giving a thumbs up? Good, good, nice. So let me go to the console. I'll click on this. Let us know if you are facing any issues in the chat. Now you can see this pop-up window, Access Lab. I'm going to click this. I'll repeat. I'll click on Jump to Console. I got this pop-up window. I'm clicking on this Access Lab now. Let me click on that. Now we are directed to AWS console.
Yeah, Manasa, we can just take a moment. People are suggesting here
Sure.
that we take some moments. Yes, let us know, till the time you reach this phase and this step so that Manasa can move ahead. And meanwhile, we'll check with other people who have some errors. I'd request support team to check through that.
Okay. Please don't use Sydney region. Use North Virginia.
Yes, we are checking through.
Everybody,
Yes.
everybody, please use North Virginia region. So if you see the AWS console, top right side, if you see if it is like Singapore, Sydney, or Ohio, or any other European region, please switch to North Virginia and then create Cloud9. So yeah, even if you are in a different part of the country, so you have to use US East 1 region only. So we have enabled this workshop to be accessed, created in North Virginia. Yeah, you can use even Mumbai region as well. But by default, it is recommended to use US East 1. Yeah, Dhananjay, can you please try now? Great, Dhananjay. Yeah. So related to the region wise, please drop a message in the chat box.
Let us wait for some time.
Sure.
people having issues for
So Sai
logging into
Krishna,
the
you can share
console.
your screen. Just navigate to the AWS console top right side. Uh, if you refer one of these screenshot in this chat group. Uh, Thanks, Kitty. Yeah, Shri Asha, so we'll register your email ID. Kindly share your email ID.
Yeah, is it need to change into AP South or AP East one or anything is fine? Like US
AP
East
South
one or
1 or
US East
US
one,
East
right?
1?
Yeah, actually I done for US East one while I uh, click on that after completing of all the lab, I clicking on the get progress, but it's not getting any output or anything.
Can you share the screenshot? What exactly you're seeing? What do you mean by the output?
Let me show how to change the region here. So when we log in here to the AWS console, you can see this North Virginia here. Click on that. You can either select US East one or AP South one. I repeat, US East one or AP South one, Mumbai region. Select either of two. I'm going with Virginia. So this is how you can change the region here. I suggest everybody to change the region to North Virginia.
Yeah, Nikesh, what exactly is the challenge? You mean to say it's not supporting? You should be able to change the region and access that region. Yeah, can you, in the interest of time, can you quickly give a thumbs up if everybody are able to access? Looks like quite a few of them have already got access and are able to go through it. So for personnel who are not able to use it, please continue to post it on chat. We will help you in the interest of time and interest of all the people who are there. Let's get started on the session. The chat support continues, but Manasa, you can continue on the skill bundle.
Sure. So anybody would like to see the steps again? Coming to console here.
No, Manasa, I can continue. We will provide the chat support if they are not able to access.
Okay, good. So like I mentioned, I'm in this US Southeast one region. So make sure in that region. So now, as I mentioned, we are using the Cloud9 environment, which is a cloud IDE in AWS. So in order to choose Cloud9 in the service, you can see this search bar. Go to that, just type Cloud9. Can you see this Cloud9? Click on that. You'll be directed to this page. So I'll repeat the steps again. Go to search, type Cloud9. You can see this. Click on that. You will be redirected to this page. Okay, hope everybody are in this page right now. Give a thumbs up. Okay, nice. Now let's create environment. Click on that button. Let me repeat it again. Click on this create environment button. You can parallelly do with me. Also, on top of that, you can see the instructions in the right side panel here. Go to the skill bundle where you clicked on jump to console button, then you access the lab there. Come to that page. You in the right side panel, you can see this instructions under the name instructions tab. You can see this lab steps here. So this is what I'll be performing now. Just in case to have a reference for you, I'll be following this step now. So I'll make a split screen now just to help you. I hope everybody are in this page. Let us create environment together.
Yeah, just post a thumbs up just to make sure that everybody are on the same page.
Nice.
Go ahead.
Okay. So go to Cloud9. The first instructions we are done. Make sure you're running in the given region, AP South 1 or US East 1. I'm in US East 1. That's done. Now coming to this creating new environment. Under that, you can see the name. You can put up your own environment name according to your wish, but I suggest you to keep this name itself because we can have a track or you'll be aware of which file or which folder we are in or which file we are talking about. So it would be helpful. So I suggest you follow the same variable name, but still you're still welcome to use your own desired name as well. So I'll be giving our environment as a name for our environment, Cloud9 environment. Description is optional. You're welcome to write it down also. Then followed that after giving the name for Cloud9. Next step, environment type. You can see this new EC2 instance already selected. Let it be. Scroll down. You can see this instance type t2.micro. It is already selected to t2.micro. I'll be using that, but still if some of us would you like to choose another instance, I'll be showing how to do that. Go to additional instance types, click on that. You can see this additional instance types. There you can select t3.micro. I suggest you to go for t3.micro. You can select that and you can proceed. I repeat, under new EC2 instance, moment. Let me give a name. Under new EC2 instance type, I am choosing t2.micro. You can choose additional instance type. Go here, select any of the or t3.micro instance type. Now I'm going with the t2.micro. So under the platform, you can see this Ubuntu server. Go here under the drop down, select Ubuntu server. Timeout is for 30 minutes. Good. It is already selected to kept it for 30 minutes. Now network settings as SSM. It's already selected as SSM by default. Let it be. Leave the rest settings default. Hit on create button. So before this, I'll be telling you, just giving you the overview of the steps again. We'll give a name for a cloud environment. which is given as this variable name, followed by that. Yeah,
Yeah, there is a request for going a bit slow. Yeah,
yeah, sure, absolutely.
yeah, I think
So
there is, in the interest of time, we have another 45 minutes where we have to actually start working on prompt engineering. We'll try to see if as slow as possible, but we also need to cover the entire portion of it. So there are instructions on the Oracle the skill bundle which you could actually refer to if you have missed out any steps. But yes, let's go about it.
good. I'll just give the glimpse of the steps once again. We are in the Cloud9. We make sure we are given in the selected region. I came to Cloud9 here by searching in the services. Then I clicked on create environment button. So this is the page I'll be seeing. You'll all be seeing when you hit on create environment button. So from here, keep a name as our environment, but still you're welcome to keep your own desired variable name as well. Then description, it's optional, no need to write that. Environment type, you can see this new EC2 instance already selected, no need to reselect that again. Come down, scroll a bit, you can see after that you can see this new EC2 instance. Under that, I've selected instance type as t2.micro. But if you are interested to select any other instances, you can go here, click on additional instance types. You can see the drop down of list of instance types here. Let me repeat this one step. Go to additional instance type. You can see the list of instance types here. I'll be choosing t2.micro. Under the platform, you can see this Ubuntu server. Let me click on this. You can see this Ubuntu server at the last option. Click on that. Timeout is for 30 minutes. I'm letting it be. Scroll down. You can see this network. Next step, SSM. It is already selected. Let it be. Move forward. Now we'll hit on create. So how about giving a thumbs up of if you have created Cloud9 environment successfully?
It looks like most of them have started creating. So proceed further, Marasa.
Nice. Okay. So when you hit on create environment, after filling all those fields, now you'll be seeing this blue color tagline of saying creating your environment. Let's this blue turns to green. It indicates that our environment is created successfully. So by the time, let me tell you about this instructions for a while. So these instructions we have completed, that is creating our environment. Then later on, you'll you'll enable this port in the EC2 instance. I'll give you the description or detail about that later on. But let us do this followed by this creating environment. I'll be telling you why we need to do that very soon. So now our environment is created successfully. Everyone has got that green signal. So now click, can you see this Cloud9 IDE under that tab open here next to our environment name? You have to click on that. Click open. Will be directed to the Cloud9 environment which you created. Good. I think everybody can see this in your system. Feel free to let us know if you are facing any trouble in the chat.
Yeah, Manasa, let's just take a pause for a moment or two and let's wait for everybody to come to this step. Okay, we're getting some thumbs up. I suppose that you guys have reached till this step. We're seeing a couple of people who put up the error.
Already.
Yeah, Gayatri, I don't see that as an error, right? It's not an error. You have already reached the IDE.
Okay, good. I think everybody has reached the IDE so far now.
Dattasai, I think Chandra Prakash from our team is working on your request on the submitting the project thing.
Okay. Like I mentioned earlier, you have to enable the port. We are developing a web application there. So in order to run that, we need this port open in the EC2. So let us open that port in the EC2. I am in the AWS console, which we accessed earlier. So I'll be going to EC2. Go to the search bar, type EC2, click on that. We still have the steps included here for your reference. So that is what I'll be following. Go to the instances running. The instances running is nothing but the Cloud9, your Cloud9 environment. So click on that. You can see this name under name R environment here. You can just expand this to see your Cloud9 environment name there. So click on this instance ID. Hope everybody got into this page now. So scroll down. You can see different tabs here, monitoring, security, everything. Click on this security. Wait for a while. You can see the security group links. Click on this security group link. Good. Do you want me to repeat or go slow? Anybody?
Proceed, Manasa.
Okay. Now scroll down a bit. You can see this edit inbound rules. Click on that.
Manasa, there's a request for repeating again.
Sure, sure. So we were here. I'll start from here. So click on this instance ID. This will appear. Scroll down a bit. You can see this different tabs. Click on the security tab. Now can you see this security group link in the left part? Click on this. Scroll down. You can see this edit inbound rules. When you come to the security group links, when you click on that, this will appear. Scroll down. You can see this edit inbound rules. When you click on that, you can see this add rule button. Click on that for adding the rule. So in the instruction, you can see the port here, 8501. So we are opening that port in our environment. So remember 8501. So let us go back to EC2. Just give a port 8501 under the port range. In the source, after setting a port range in the source, click on this, you'll get these options. Anywhere IPv4, select that. I repeat, anywhere IPv4. So when you click on add rule, this adding rule field will appear. In the port range, set 8501, source as anywhere IPv4. Now we are good to go. Save the rules. So now the inbound rules have been set. We are enabling that 8501 port because we are running the Streamlit application there. I'll be giving you the details later in a very few minutes. That is to enable that port so that we can run that application, web application. So that is the overview of why do we need to enable the port in EC2. So now let us go back to our Cloud9 environment, which you created earlier. Now in the Cloud9 environment, you can see this file in the file tab. Check out this new file. Click on that. I repeat, go to file, new file. I've clicked on that. So I've got this new file. So this is without any extension. So here we are using Python to access or to get suggestion from Amazon Q developer. So I'll be saving this file in Python extension. So let me save this file, Control S. Let's say, let me try out for different prompt types. Since we'll be testing out the prompt types here. Now, when you create a new file, under the file, new file, then you will be saving like this, prompt types with the extension of Python. Hit on save. Now we are good to start. So hope everybody has created this. Good. Everybody is clear, right? Good. So now we can see this single line comment here, function to print each element and return. Let's try out
Sorry,
this
Monica.
prompt here.
Can you explain
Yeah.
once
Okay, which part?
that you have created a folder, right?
File.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, fine. So go to the file tab here. Follow with me. Go to the file, click on new
Okay.
file. So
Okay.
now you'll get a new file without any extension. Now I'm using
Yeah.
the Python file here. So I'll be saving it in the Python extension. So for that, I'll be saving. I'll click on Control Save. This window appears. I'll be giving name for a file with the Python extension. I'll hit on save. Were you able to create? Shall I repeat it again?
Yeah.
I hope you have created the file now.
Yeah. Thank
Good.
you.
Okay. So like I mentioned earlier, let us experiment this different prompt types in the Cloud9 environment. So I'll be taking this single line comment here. Let me try it in the Cloud9 environment here. So like I said, I'll give you some different types of prompts here. We'll experiment here. This is a single line comment. Let me increase. Hope you are able to see the fonts here. Not able to. Okay, just a second. Good. I think you are able to see the screen very clearly now. How about giving a thumbs up for this?
Proceed, Master.
Nice. So let's start. So this is I'm asking Amazon Q developer to write a function to print each element. So I'm asking model to do that, but let me trigger explicitly because when we hit enter, it's supposed to give suggestion. If not, that's fine. You have to write, we have to click Alt plus C. I'll be writing down it here. Try to remember this Alt plus C shortcut to explicitly or manually trigger the Amazon Q developer or code whisperer. So I'm clicking Alt plus C. You can see this code whisperer more than one suggestion. So I'm just taking, let's say, let's go for second one. Nice. We've got the code suggestion from Amazon Q developer now. This is for single line command. How about let's try running this. Let me initialize with the random numbers just to make sure it gives perfect running code here. So let me print that. You can try along with me with the different comments or different intent. So let me run this. You can see this run icon above. You can click that. I think it's Option plus C in Mac, I believe. Good. So now you can see this. It's printing each of the elements here one by one, like we asked our code whisperer to do it. Good. It's able to give running code here.
Yeah, just give a thumbs up if you're able to do this. You were able to get the prompt right, get the code right, and are able to execute.
If print is disabled, sorry, that run option is disabled, what can we do?
Alt C.
Okay.
Click on, did you save the file first?
We need to save the file, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So each programming language has its own command style. Since I'm using Python, I'm writing command in Python command style. So now let's try out another prompt also. Prompt type, that's a single line prompt. So here the function, to create a function here,
Hi. Actually, after saving a file,
okay,
run command is not clickable.
you mean the you're not able to trigger the Amazon Q
Yeah,
developer?
run the code. Yes, yes.
You can see
Uh,
this Alt plus C.
No, unable to run this. That you can see that green color run button, right? That is
Oh,
not
yes.
enabled
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
unable to.
Okay.
No, you
No
have to,
problem.
if you save the file, it will be enabled. Can you please
No,
save
I
the file?
saved also, but still it's not enabling.
Yeah,
No
saved
problem.
also.
No problem. Let us try out in the terminal itself. We are in
Mhm.
the that directory itself. So with this command, let us try to run Python and the file name. My file name is prompt types. Let me run it once. See, we are good. We are still able to get the response. Can you try this one and let us know or give a thumbs up in the chat?
Those who are not able to get the run, can you do the command line and just confirm if you are able to do that?
Yeah, just check through the chat. I think it's mentioned in the chat.
Good. I think you were able to get
Yeah,
the
it's
suggestion.
working.
Nice. So let's move on to this next prompt here, single line prompt. So here you can see each line has its own description for the method to create. I'll be triggering the Amazon Q developer to give a suggestion on that. I'm getting no suggestions here. No need to worry. It will take a while to create that. You can try pausing or resuming for a moment or wait for some time. It will be able to give suggestion. So talking about this, different prompt types. When you give a command, even though the command would be same, you will be getting the different suggestion. It might be with a variable name I for me. It can be different for you in your suggestion. So we might get different suggestions. So good. Now I've got a suggestion from Code Whisperer. It's printing the comment itself since it is able to read only the comment here. Let's try the multi-line prompt. How about trying that? And let us make some changes in that too. Instead of trying the same comment, you can see this multi-line prompt. I'm taking this comment here. So let me go here. So I'll rewrite it. I'll give the heading for this multi-line prompt. Good. So now I'm pasting the prompt here. As the name suggests, it's a multi-line. So like I said, let's make few changes here. Create a function called format list. Good, let it be. Format the numbers in list into a string in which the numbers are prepended with hash. How about giving the different symbol percentage and check for strings and wrap it in a double quote. Let me change it to single quote. So let me try running this. I've made changes to that. Let us see what can Code Whisperer give suggest. I think it's reading only the comment, the before comment. I hope most of you have got the suggestions by now. Well, it's not able to read it. That's okay, no problem. I think most of you have got the suggestion.
So just give a thumbs up if you got suggestions. I see few of them have already got those suggestions.
Okay, no problem. Since you have got the suggestion now, I think you are comfortable with working with Cloud9 and also experimenting the Amazon Q developer. Now after exploring this prompt types, now let's move one step higher. How about creating an application? To be precise, a web application using this Amazon Q developer. So let me talk about that application now. Let us go back to the skill bundle now. Now I am in the home page here. You can see the home page of our skill bundle. Here you can see this after getting to know Amazon Q developer, you can see this introduction to weather data visualization. Click on that. So here we are going to build web application. It's a more of like a visualization of the weather data. You will be given a CSV weather data set of different cities. You'll clean the data. In other words, we'll pre-process the data. Finally, we'll build a streamlit application, more of a like a giving a front end for it, and you'll able to see like this. So this is the final look we are going to achieve. You can see this, the image. You can access it in your skill bundle too to see the image. So you can see the visualization of the data. Here you'll set a range, then you'll select a station or a country, each temperature, minimum or average. Don't worry, let's start that. We'll get to know step by step. So in order
Manasa,
to
Manasa, in between, I know that we've been working on Cloud9, trying to set up the code whisperer and other things. It took us some time, but please hold on, everyone. We should be able to finish this application. We'll be able to build this application because since it's a GenAI tool, it can build application very quicker. So we might go beyond 1 o'clock, but please cooperate with us. As Shipriya suggested earlier, those who are able to successfully finish and post those screenshots on the chat room will get goodies as well as our Amazon voucher. We'll be able to select them. So yeah, continue, Mansa.
okay. So in order to build this web application, you'll be following the steps. So I'll be telling how I came here. So here, after this getting to know Amazon Q developer, you can see this introduction to weather data visualization. Click on that. Here, this is what we are going to achieve. Some snaps of our application. So here, scroll down, you can see the steps. What we'll do, we'll set up a Cloud9 environment, which is done, and also enabling the port, which is also done, and pre-processing of the data set, which we'll be doing now. Then develop a Streamlit application to visualize, which we'll be doing, followed by that. Good. Now I think we are good to start now. Let's go back to home page now. Let's mark as done this. So here, initially we created the environment in the Cloud9. We tested and experimented the Amazon Q developer there. So we need to create files and folders and install certain libraries related to the application. So that we'll be doing that in this exercise in the setup environment in Cloud9. So let us go to this under the hands-on exercise. Click on continue project. So This is where you clicked on Start Lab. Now you already started the lab. Now you have access to AWS console now. Now let's focus on these instructions in the right side part. You can click on that icon there. It will expand. So now we are done with the creating environment. We enabled the port to run the Streamlit application. Good. Now let us set up the environment here. So in order to develop this application, we need the Streamlit front-end framework, like I mentioned earlier, which is a very lightweight and helpful in visualizing, and which is a very easy to put up in and write the code. And Pandas, which is for data frames functioning, and Matplotlib and Seaborn. As you know, it's for visualization of that data set. So we have to install this library. So you can see the instructions here. Open terminal in Cloud9, copy this command and paste. So let us follow that. Let us go to Cloud9 environment. So now I'm in Cloud9 environment. So I hope everybody has come to Cloud9 environment now. So either you can start with a new terminal or continue with the given terminal here itself. So here I have to copy the command there to download and install the libraries. I've copied the command. Let us copy that. After copying that, paste it in the terminal of the Cloud9 environment. Hope everybody has copied. Now run that. All these packages and libraries will be installed. I believe everybody was able to install these libraries with the command. Good. Now it will be installing the libraries. Let's move on to next step now. This part is done. We install with the libraries. So here we have to create a folder structure like this. So in
Sorry
order
to interrupt. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, I am getting errors.
Live, can you paste your error in the chat?
Yeah.
Sir? In order to check if your
Yeah, I think. Sorry, actually, I didn't copy the full command. N is missing.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Got it.
but we
I
can
think for
still
the
make sure,
errors, we can just refer to the chat.
but you can still make sure if the library is installed with the pip show and the library name, just to make sure if the library is installed. So now let us go back to the instructions now. Now we have to create a folder. For this, now you need the weather data set where you will pre-process the data set file, like I mentioned earlier. So let us download this. Can you see this? Download this data set, and here click on that. So now your data set will be downloaded. By just with one click, the data set will be downloaded. So now move forward. You have to upload it in a Cloud9 environment. I'll be showing how to do that also. And also you can find the instructions here too, how to do that. So let's move on. Here you can see the folder structure here. 2 Python files, 1 CSV data set file, and 2 folders here. So let's move on. Let's create. I will create with the given variable name itself. I suggest you to follow the same, or you're still welcome to try out different variable name for your files. So again, go to file. You can create a new file, or you can see this environment, our environment. We have to create all these files and folders in our environment. So right click on this. You can see this new file and new folder. I repeat, go to your environment, right click. You can see this new file or new folder. Initially, we have to create a new folder, which is a base folder. Let me name that as weather visualizer. Good, I'm done. I hope everybody created that folder, which acts as a base folder. Let me split the screen to see the instructions. Good. Now we have developed the base folder. Now the next folder would be dataset and the weather Python file. So let me create one folder and one file under that. So let me go create new folder. Again, right click. Under new folder, I'll name it as a dataset. I've highlighted in the instructions here. You can see that dataset. I'm naming that. I'm done. I believe you are with me. You are creating the file parallelly with me. So I need to create another Python file here. Right click on the weather and visualizer folder, new file, weather.py. That's done. Now let us see next what's next. Now we have to create another Python file in dataset folder. So right click on the dataset folder, new file, data Python file. Good, everything is done now, creating the folders. Now you can see this weather data set CSV format. Now you have to upload that from your system which you downloaded. So I'll be showing how to do that. Go to file again. You can see this upload local files. Click on this. I'll repeat it, don't worry. So you can either drag and drop or select files. So I'll drag and drop. Good, it's done. You can see in the left side, it's 100% done. Upload activity under that. I'll repeat. Go to file, upload local files. Click on that. You can select files from your file explorer or you can drag and drop. And the left side, you can see the confirmation or the percentage of its uploading activity. Good. Now you can see this weather data CSV format has been uploaded here. Now let's move on. Let's see next instruction here. Good. We have to check the weather Python file where we'll be writing the Streamlit code for front end. So since we enabled the port, let us make sure it is running there. We are able to successfully write the Streamlit code there. So in order to confirm, let us do some write code here. So open weather.py file, add the following code. Let us go to environment.
Sorry, can you let me know how to upload the file again, please?
Okay, no problem. Go to file, upload local files, click on that. You're able to see this window in your system, sir?
Yes, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to weather py file. Let me close some
Hi,
of the
pardon,
files.
please.
Sure. Yes.
I'm uploading the file.
So now we are in the weather Python file. Copy this code. I'll tell you what the code is doing. Like I mentioned earlier, Streamlit is a very easy, lightweight framework. You can just, which is a very easy command to do, follow. You'll import the Streamlit command and you'll be writing that, you'll use this command st.write, or you can use st.title as well. Like, let me change it here else. st.title, welcome. Anything would work. So now in order to run that, make sure you're in that specific directory where this weather Python file is there. So I'll repeat, you have to make sure you are in that directory in the terminal, and you have to run that file. I'll be giving the command how to run that also. So, or if you're finding difficult to navigate to that Python file location in the terminal, I'll be giving you one tip. Right click on the weather Python file. You can see this open terminal here. Click on this. Let me repeat, go to weather.py file. You can see this open terminal here. So now you can see it is in that directory. So now in order to run that, I've given the command as well here. Streamlit run and the Python file name. So I'll be using that Streamlit run. My Python file name is weather.py. Let us run. Good. I hope everybody has got this URL like this. And for the record, this IP address would not be same as what you are getting there. This might be different for me and it might be different for you all. Streamlit default port is 8501. So that is the reason we enabled in the EC2. I believe you've got the clarity. Why do we need to enable the port and EC2? So now I think everybody has got this. Now you can see this external URL here. Click on this. You can see this open in preview options. Click on open. Let me know if you need to repeat the steps or else. We were able to launch the file. Make sure to save the file every now and then, because that's how we can see the contents, what you will put, or the changes that can be reflected in the Streamlit here. But I can see is asking to repeat the steps. So go to weather.py file, right click on that. You can see this open terminal here. Click on that. You'll get the terminal like this to that directory. Now you'll paste the command like this. It is in the instruction, Streamlit run and the Python file. So that is what I've included here. Streamlit run. Okay, I see somebody's asking how to upload a file instructions there. So I'll repeat it here. Go to file, upload local files. Click on that. You can see the window here. Either drag and drop the files, or you can click on this select files here. So that is how you can do that. So let us move on. So here the Streamlit content, we are unable to see that. So for that, if that case happens to you, save the file or refresh the environment, your Cloud9 environment. If the external link is not working, I think you need to enable the port. Check if you have enabled the port and EC2. But now let us run. In order to stop the Streamlit application running, you can click on Alt+C. No need to stop every now and then. The changes will be reflected directly there. So you can just run and do the changes in the file. Click on open. Good. Now you can see this. So remember this hack. If any contents is not visible in the Streamlit application, no need to worry. Go to the environment, refresh your environment, and try to save your file every often while running the Streamlit application in order to see the changes there. Then you would be able to see the contents there. So I believe everybody has come this far and now you're comfortable with it now. Can you give us a thumbs up for that? Good. That's a very good start. Now I'm came back to homepage in our skill bundle. Now this is done. We completed one exercise under hands-on exercise. That's one big progress. Now let's jump to pre-processing of data set. So if anybody does not find the weather data set file there or forget to download that, you can download here as well and save it under dataset folder just in case if you did not download there. So now I repeat, under the hands-on exercise, I'm going to pre-processing of data set. Try to mark as done whichever you completed. It would be better to see that you have progressed a lot. Click on continue project. Good. No need to start the lab every now and then here, since every start the lab link would be navigating to the same console or the same AWS account which we all are using right now. So no need to worry to start the lab every now and then. So good. Now I hope everybody are in the second step of pre-processing of data set. That cleaning of data set and very precise, we'll be doing that in data Python file. So what and all we'll be doing there, we'll pick up the CSV library, which since the data set is in CSV format, then we'll remove the null value rows and we'll try to keep constraint to some specific columns. We might create new columns, convert data types. All these steps we'll be doing that with the comments you can see here. So we'll take each prompt, paste it there, and try to run that. We'll get a code suggestion from Amazon Q developer. So now let's get started. Let's try it out. Let me know if you complete it early than me. Good. Okay,
guys,
now
where your goodies and other things will come to see it at your pace. And obviously you can follow Manasa if you are not able to.
okay, now we are in the data file. Now let us start with importing the pandas library here. Let's take this. Let's ask to Amazon Q developer model. Hit on enter and click Alt+C. Good, we are getting suggestion. Hope you are all getting suggestions there. Then the next line would be to read a CSV file here. So remember to change the prompt if you don't get the code suggestion accordingly given here. This is for a reference if you don't get the code whisperer suggestion there. So try to tweak the prompt or the comment there, try to make some changes. Sometimes it might give suggestions in the code. Try to make a try to be more specific in the comment here. So have been very specific here. Single line code to read CSV file. I'm pasting that. I'm triggering alt. Let's see. Good. Can somebody mute? I'm hearing a background voice there.
Go ahead, Pankaj.
Okay, thank you. So here, since Amazon Q Developer does not know what data set we are using, to be precise, what variable name the file name is holding, it is not aware of. So in that case, we have to change the dataset name manually. So remember to change the dataset file. And also, while running anything with respect to file in Cloud9, remember that you need to mention absolute path. This is a very important point. You need to mention the absolute path here. So how can we get the absolute path here? I'll be showing how to do that. Just in the terminal, just type present working directory with the command pwd. Good. You can see that in which directory you are. Copy that, paste it here. Good. So now let's check whether dataset CSV file is in that environment. We are, but there is a gap between whether dataset file and our environment. We have two folders as well in between. So be sure to add that as well. Right. The folder names as well. Write the folders names. You'll get the suggestions as well. Parallelly doing that. Hope everybody has put up the absolute path here. I'll be writing that in the comment as well. Good. So now we are good to go. I think most of you have succeeded moving forward. Okay. So the next step would be to remove null value rows. So let me split the screen. It would be better. Good. Let me close this file explorer. I think now you can see the font, everything very clearly. Good. Now we'll remove the null value rows here. Hit enter. Alt plus C to manually trigger or Amazon Q Developer. You can see the code whisperer suggestion here. Click on that. Good. We were able to get this. Nice. So let's move forward. We were able to remove the null value rows. Now let's keep the only following columns here.
Sorry,
So
interrupt. Can you please let me know the left side one? Where is the path? Can you paste the URL?
okay.
I'm unable to see this page, left side page.
The reference is added here in the chat. Can you see the chat? It's the reference is added over there.
No, I'm talking about the left-hand side
Okay.
code. That's the page Nuvepro page, left side screen. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no.
Okay, in the instructions, yeah.
Yeah, these instructions I'm unable to see.
Can you refresh the page and once see?
I'm in the page preparing of data sets.
Just go back to home page again.
Okay.
Let me start with you again. Pre-processing of data set. Click on that. You have to click on Start Guided Project there, or you can see the Continue Project button there. Were you able to see that?
Start guided project. Okay.
Click on that. You will be navigated to that instructions and lab console panel.
Yeah, I got it now. Thank you.
Good. Okay, good.
Sorry for this.
No problem. So good. This is a weather data CSV file here. You can see the different columns here in the first line. So this is what we are dealing with. We'll convert this thing and all to different data type. We'll set it up to float. We'll all do these things. So now we'll keep the only following columns here. Hit enter, Alt+C. Nice. I got the suggestion. So now we have completed this thing, keeping the columns there. Let me close this to make it maximizing. Now let's continue with next command. It's creating new columns called country with a column name by splitting it on the comma and take the last segment and deleting the spaces. So hit enter, Alt+C. Moment. Okay, right now I'm not able to get the suggestion from Code Whisperer. It's all right. You can still see the suggestions there. So let us not wait. Wait.
Showing.
It's not showing.
Yeah, no suggestions are given by Code Whisperer.
No problem. I will give suggestions after some while. This happens. So in the
Yeah,
meantime, you
one
can.
thing you can do is remove that space between the next line and just keep it without spaces. Yeah, just remove that space after the TY. That line is there. Delete that line.
Yeah.
It's all right. You can still see the code suggestion here, which is we have given for a reference here. We were in this stage. Let's copy this for now. Paste it here. No problem. It will take a while to suggest code. So now the next step would be creating columns named station name using column name again. Let's paste that command. Let us see the response or the suggestion from Amazon Q developer. I'm triggering that. Good. Now we were able to see that. If you find it, if the code whisperer is not able to suggest any code snippets, it's okay. You can paste the code from here, which is given for a reference here, which is not in the block bonded that. So now let's move on. Let's convert the data types here. Convert this columns to float type in one line. Nice. I hope you are now following and you are able to get the suggestion. Good. Now moving on. If this column is float, then assign this value. This is being more specific. So let's see the code whisperer suggestion here. Well, nice. We're able to get the suggestion. The more specific we are, the better we get. So now convert date column to date time. Take this command. Now run. Well, that's nice progress. Then next, write df to a CSV file. Nice. Like I mentioned earlier, when we use often code whisperer, the more often we use, the better it gets. So, and the more specific you are, it understands your intent, what you're trying to achieve in the file. See, initially I mentioned you need to write the absolute path here. So the code whisperer understood that. So now it gave the absolute path by itself. So which is proving my point here. It understands the context of what we are trying to achieve. So good. So for the record, this is the clean data set file name, which we'll be getting once we run this file. We'll be getting output, which is a clean preprocessed data set CSV file in this file name. So let me run this. Let us see. Let us open the environment here. Good. I can see the weather data cleaned. I can see this weather data cleaned output file, which is a preprocessed data set in that folder. Now our pre-processing job is done. Cleaning the data set is done. Now let's move on. The next step. I believe now you are being comfortable and getting to know how to use Amazon Q Developer now. So Mark has done. We have achieved so far. Now only one step is left out. So let's try that. Let's see who will complete first. We have exciting watches for them. Click on continue project.
Yeah, Manasa, we have done this step. I completed, but the next step I'm getting one error. So
You are getting?
not in this one, that stream, building the Streamlit application.
Yes.
So in that I'm getting a one error. So that command is not working. There was an error wrong.
Okay, no problem. Okay,
Sorry?
the snap of your error can be put up in the chat.
Yes, please. I'll put it.
But still, let us solve together. Well, I think you can get the idea for that. So let's move on. Only one exercise left out now. Our data set is cleaned. Now let's go back to weather data py file. So now to run the Streamlit application, we need Streamlit library. So let it be like that. I removed the other contents. So now don't worry about that warnings and all. Now the next step here in the Cloud9, you can see that we need to have a configuration file. I'll tell you why it is important. So this configuration file is more of a like key and value, certain key name and corresponding value for that. It's a more of a like a reference for any of the file. For example, if you need to change the file location or a path of the file, or you need to update a value of any key, you can do it in the configuration file. which can be referenceable to another files, so that you need not to go and change in another file wherever that variable name is there. So it's more of like helping you flexibly with changing in one side. So that is why we need this configuration file, since we have output dataset file in this environment. So if we change that path of that dataset file, we just change it in the configuration file, that's all. So if we change in the configuration file, we'll be able to reference in those files. So now let us create the configuration file. So before that, I can see, okay, no issues. Okay, now let's create the configuration file. You can see this directory here for your reference if you are unsure of where to create that file. Configuration.ini file, which is under weather visualizer folder. That is a base folder. So under that, we'll be creating that. So far now, we have created all this weather Python file also done. Now we are left with configuration file creation. Now, where do we need to create? Base folder. Right click, new file, rename that. Good. I repeat, go to where you have to create that file. Now we have to create that in a base folder. Right click, new file, rename that with the extension. So now we successfully created this file. Let's see what's next. Create a text file, that's done. Naming file, that's also done. Now add this code. Good. Let's add this code. Remember, you have to save the file very often when you make the changes. This is not auto save format. Good. So now let's move on. Now I've already created all this directory. Now we have to import libraries here. This Streamlit library is already imported. Here you can write out this comments and all just to import, or you can just directly write the library there. It's giving me suggestion itself. It's trying to give me the comment to import all kinds of libraries relevant to this application. That's also a good point, but still we need the libraries to import now. So now let us copy paste that instead of asking there for now. Let me paste all the relevant or import all the relevant libraries here. Well, but still it was able to suggest a command for to import the pandas library, which we needed that. In order to get the exact import statement, we need to be more specific, I believe. So
So Manas, in the interest of time, let's try to wrap it up in next 4 to 5 minutes.
sure, okay. So now we have to read the configuration file. Just paste the command here. Sorry, comment here. Ask the code whisperer. Good. Now we were able to get that. Okay, I'm getting a different suggestion. Let's see. Let's move on. Okay, this is good progress. So for this, like I mentioned, Amazon Q developer will not be aware of the file name and dataset name what we will be giving. So here I've created the configuration file with the name configuration. So be sure to name that. So then let us get the input file from the configuration. Nice, we were able to get that. It's trying to suggest for output file also, which we not need for now right now. So this default, we have to change it in the configuration file. This is there is input data here. So this in the place of default, we have to put that. But remember, be sure to saving your file very often. So it's done. This can be accessed like this in the square bracket or config.get. Everything is fine. So now let's move on. I think let us explicitly mention this data file name here since we need that. And also this observed path. I've given it as a real path, but still no problem. Let us follow this reference code as well. Good. Now let's move on to next task. It's a command to load a data.
Manasa, in this line only I got that error, right? That input file line. So can you please save and validate it with a, is it
Okay.
running for the moment?
Okay, sure. Let me run that. Were you able to successfully create the configuration file, sir?
Yeah, I was able to successfully created that config file and I added that as well. But in here, in the previous line, input day that sorry, that weather.py. Yeah, in this input line number 19 only I got there, 18 and 19.
Okay, I think you have to change it to .get or else.
Okay.
Sometimes the square bracket does not work, so you can change it to .get.
Okay.
That's given in the reference code as well. So in the meantime, you can run the Streamlit application too. Let me run it in a Python file. It's already running. I can see the reflections here. It's load. Oh, we have to save the file then. Remember to save the file. Go back. You can see the source file change, rerun. You can do that. Just keep it to always rerun. Okay, we have direct path is not defined. I think we have not set that name. So we are getting config.read. Oh, this is script directory, I guess. Instead of script directory, it is directory path. So let me rename it as a directory path. Good. Save the file. Remember, go to here, click on always rerun. Okay, now that's in a script directory. No problem. Let's change that to here. Now I think we have seen Save the file. I think now we have changed it. Okay. For the record, this cache has been deprecated in the Streamlit. That command is deprecated. You have to add it explicitly as cache data. You'll get the warning as well. If you remove underscore data, you can see the warning from the Streamlit itself. So now I'll be save the file. Let me run that. Always, I'll keep to always rerun there. Sorry. Save it. Save the file. Good. If this case is happening to you, you can refresh the environment here. Let me refresh for myself. So then this part is completed. Then we can move to this part. Let's move forward. You have to load the data here. So I'll be taking this load data snippet here. But moving forward, we need to convert date field to a date time type. Okay, there is one more thing. You have to add it in the main page here. This is very interesting thing. Since everybody has developed or built this application, which could have a similar final look, I'll give you one interesting tip here. You can see this. This is a shortcut for emoji adding in the Streamlit. I'll be giving one name. You can see it in the chat as well. Let me run this file and show you. Let me make a full screen here. It is able to reflect there, but let me stop and run it again.
Ma'am, looks like it's a cache issue.
Yes. Seems like we have error in this line. So let us go back. Data file name, you have to add that. We haven't added that here. This is the input file we have here. Under the input file, we do have this. Okay, let me cross verify with the reference code we have. Let me split the screen. Okay, now we are done with the configuration file. Let me save the file and run it.
Yeah, I think Manasa, probably we can take this offline. Looks like multiple people have finished it, and a few others will still continue to have access to the lab till 3 p.m. They'll be able to finish it and then send across if at all they have any comments. Probably in the interest of time, we have almost spent 2.5 hours on this call, so I'm sure everybody would need a break. So we could end the call right now. Um, just probably anybody can just you want to post any comment of how it is, or we will obviously send you a small feedback form where you can send us your feedback. Otherwise, hopefully this was a very interesting session, and you learned exactly how to work on prompt engineering. Um, uh, just probably give a thumbs up if you like the session, and you were able to a greater extent follow and able to build the application. Yeah, thank you very much. Probably we'll have multiple sessions in the future on the similar topics because our collaboration with AWS continues, and our investments on GenAI and building GenAI skill bundles continues. Please watch out this space. We'll come up with more workshops in future. Thank you all so far to spend time with us, and thank you, Manasa, for all your patience and able to do this session. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Hi, Manas. Manas, getting the
Yeah.
same error again.
Okay, I think
So I
it's
think
about it's going navigating to different folder. Okay, let me share my screen. So let me go to the configuration file here. Just let us know what you have put up in the configuration file in the chat.
yes, sure.
So I can see it's about
Name of the
small letter V. Small letter V. Save the file. I think now we are good to go. We can run the application. I saved the file. So it's small letter V. Since I've got the same error, visualization. That's a small letter V.
Mine actually, my folder name is capital V.
Sorry, can you come again?
My folder is actually capital V with the underscore capital V with the visualizer.
Can you share us the error in the chat?
Yeah, put in the chat. So now I'll again put the
We are ending the session right now. You take the thank you everyone for your time. We are ending the session.
This will be taking as an environment, but you can give it as a like this input file name. Instead of giving like that in the input file, we are putting that contents in the configuration file here. This is the input file. So we are accessing here in the format method. So no need to put the content there. Just try out like that.
F input file. Okay.
Okay, just input file. Try running there.
Yeah, if input file. Like this, right? Input file equal configure get input data input file.
Yes, yes, you are right.
Yeah, I put like that way only.
When you're
Mohammed,
able
I
to
think
solve that,
you can continue to check the guided script, steps on the skill bundle and do it. In the
Yeah,
interest of time,
I
the
directly
entire team
copy.
is waiting, so we will be ending the call right away.
Sure,
Thanks
sure.
everyone for the session, and we'll continue on the next session soon.
just one thing, you will be having the solution folder here as well. Just in case if you're stuck here, download here with this link, then you can see the contents. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
I
but
just
unable
copied.
to download that file.
The instructions are there. Please go through the instructions once again. As I told, you will continue to have access to this till 3 p.m. Please follow the instructions. We have to end the call because the entire team was at standby are there, so we have to end this call. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next time we'll get into a better set of activities and better set of things for the workshop. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you everyone for
Great
attending.
weekend.